Good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Salesforce Apex Hour, and thank you so much, Jitendra Jha, for joining us again as a speaker. And today topic is the Lightning Testing Service. And can you move to the next slide, please? So let me tell you who I am. So my name is Amit Chaudhary, and I'm the co-organizer of the Farmington Hills Salesforce Developer Group. Apart from that, I'm active on the Salesforce Developer community. I'm also active blogger at amitsalesforce.blogspot.in, and I'm running this Salesforce Apex Hour sessions. So our today's speaker is Jitendra Jha. So I'm going to hand over to you, Jitendra. Sir,
Sure.
your
Sure. Thanks, Amit, for your introduction. And hey, hello everyone. I hope everybody had a great Saturday and going to have a Saturday as per your time zone. So, my name is Jitendra Jha. I'm a senior technical architect in Blue Wolf. Few of you already might know me. I am also a blogger at my website jitendrajha.com. You can follow me on Twitter. And thank you, Amit, for calling me again on this awesome platform so that I can share something with this group. So let's go through the agenda, basically what we are going to discuss. So we are going to discuss first that what is Jasmine, and we are going to have a very simple demo of Jasmine without any Salesforce anything, or just to understand what exactly is a Jasmine. We will discuss a little bit about other frameworks and consideration of Lightning Testing Service, and followed by Q&A. But most importantly, I will say today's session is completely live coding. So I will do everything in front of you, all the demo and everything. And let's see how it goes. So first, let's talk about what is Jasmine. So most of you might already know about Apex test classes. So Salesforce has a great platform to write test classes for your server-side coding and making sure that you have minimum 75% of test classes uh, before deploying anything on the production. Okay, so we can write a test classes for Apex like we discussed, but think about it. Okay, what do we do till now if we have a lot of JavaScripts in our what I say, our source code? So there are some awesome frameworks available outside the Salesforce, which are like Jasmine and Mocha, but the problem is those were not supported by the Salesforce. But with the new era of Lightning component, as we know, Lightning component is best of both world, where client side you can write as much as client side coding, plus if needed you can have Apex controller which will act as a server side. So the question here is, okay, we can write a test classes for Apex, but what about the JavaScripts? As per the best practice, like all over the world, they are following some frameworks like Jasmine and Mocha. Can we do that? So the good news is Salesforce just released Lightning testing services, and which includes right now two framework out of the box, which is Jasmine and Mocha. Now both are behavior-driven development. So uh, most of you might already know what is behavior-driven development, but if you ask me, I will say instead of covering the code in this approach, we cover the scenarios. Okay, what should so let's take an example of simple object person, which has first name, last name, age, and let's say colors of eyes. So you would be having a behavior like, okay, can I get the full name, which is a combination of first name and the last name? Can I get the age? If I change eye color, can I get the update? So these are all the behaviors you are checking instead of checking the code itself. Now, just like any other standard test unit framework, its capabilities are you can have a group of tests. Of course, assertion is very integral part here, and you can have a setup method and a tear down method. You can down Jasmine from this link. I have already what I say. I already have a down URL open here. So this is the GitHub Jasmine. You go on the release tag and you will see all the Jasmines here. So this is a place where you can download the Jasmine, not Salesforce related, but I'm talking about the standards Jasmine. Okay. So let's go back again on our presentation. So like we discussed, what are the some other frameworks supported? So other than Jasmine, Mocha is also supported, but this webinar, we are only going to focus Jasmine. And Salesforce also says that you can also use any existing JavaScript testing framework. I have never tried that, but that's what the documentation says. So it's all about, I will say, lot of theoretical. Let's have a real fun here. Let's write a code, some code here. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to use a Visual Studio, VS Code, and in the VS Code, I have downloaded these plugins. So you can see, actually today's demo I will say is a combination of Lightning testing services, combination of Lightning component, and the Salesforce GX. So we will discuss almost everything here. So before doing anything on what is Lightning testing service, let's write a simple Jasmine program without any Salesforce. So what I will do is I will download this Jasmine source code here, and let's open it, and I will extract here. So yeah, as you can see, it has few folders, but the important folder for me is lib folder. So we will come back here. Let's go and create okay, let's do one thing. What I will do is in G2 folder, I have Epic Saturday. I will create a new folder and I will name as simple JS Jasmine. And I will use this folder. Okay, give me a minute. So I will use this folder here. So I will say, this is a Visual Studio Code. I will say, okay, let's go at desktop. This is my folder, Apex Saturday. So I will use this folder. Okay, perfect. Now in this folder, what I will do is I will create one. So let's create a file name as index.html. And what I will do here is I will create a new folder here, name as simple, let's say JS. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this lib folder. This is a Jasmine folder, and I will go in the JS and I will just paste my item here. Now if you go back on my Visual Studio Code and let's try to refresh. So I can see JS has a lib and this is my index.html. Let's write some HTML5. So I already have here, I will add a title as Jasmine demo. And now what we have to do here is we have to include some Jasmine files here. And as you can see, Jasmine file is Jasmine 3.1.0. So what I will do is, let me, yeah. So as you can see, what I did is I included some style sheet. So this Jasmine style sheet again is in lib folder. If you expand here, this is the Jasmine CSS I got. This is already the part of framework, and in the same way, I've got all these JS here. So now let's write a sample, what I say, sample JavaScript. So I can go here, I can create one file, and I can say file name as person.js. So this is a simple JavaScript file. And to keep everything very simple, what I will do is I will create a function person, and I will say it's a first name, it will have a last name, it will have age, and to make it interesting, let's have a eye color. And now here, what I will do basically is, so these are the arguments provided here, and I will just assign these arguments to the first name, last name, age, and eye color. So basically this is a object-oriented programming in the JavaScript. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a method, and on the prototype. So prototype in JavaScript, just like in every object in Salesforce has a S object as a parent, every object in JavaScript has a prototype as a parent. So I'm saying there is a name function, and what basically this name function will do, it will basically return this dot, I will say first name and some space, and it will return this dot last name. Very simple. Same way, what I will do is I will have two more methods, and I will say those two methods will change the age and get the age. So I will say let's change age. Again, this is a function, and that's the body. Let me finish it by semicolon. Semicolon doesn't hurt in JavaScript anyways. Then I will say this dot age equals to, I will say new age, and let's have new age here. Okay, very simple. Same way, if I'm changing the age, I should be able to get the age as well, age of the person. So I'm saying get. Okay, everybody, can someone confirm his font is, you need some bigger font? Sorry, I didn't ask that earlier. Anyone?
If you can little bit increase, that will be great, Jitendra.
Perfect. So let me go on. Where can I say preferences, settings? Perfect. Editor font size, I will make it 16, and terminal also I will make it 16. Is it okay now, or a little bit more?
Please
Let's
increase a little bit more.
okay, let's try 18. Good. Let me make 20. Perfect. I think this is good, right?
Yeah, much better than before. Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So what we did is we define our last method, which is a get age, and of course we don't need here anything, and all we have to do is we have to return the age. Awesome. Awesome sauce. So now what I will do is I will add this in my index.html. So this is my source code. So what I will do is, this is my index.html. So I already included all the Jasmine file. Okay. Now let's include js.person. Now let's write a test class. Okay. So this is actual class. So basically very simple. Let me explain again. All I did is I created a person object. Now that person object has a 4 parameter: first name, last name, age, and eye color. Now what we are doing, we have created 3 methods. So one method is to get the name, one method is to change the age, and another method is to get the age. We would be simply doing a test case saying that, okay, does the name provide proper first name and last name combination? If we change the age, do we get the updated age? Okay. So let's write a new JS class here, and I will say the new JS class name would be person test.js. Okay. So let's see how we can write it. So this is the syntax of Jasmine. So Jasmine will have what I say describe method. Okay. Now describe method would be having 2 parameters. You have to so this is a suite of test. Okay, just like Apex test class. So you have to write, okay, what we are trying to do. So you are trying to assert person object. Let's say this is your agenda, and then all you have to do is you have to write an anonymous function here. Perfect. So now we are writing a function. So what we will do is we will create a variable name as a person. Now just like a setup method in Apex, we have a method like before each. I will not go to the syntax and the semantics of the Jasmine that you get. So new blog post is coming on my blog very soon, so you can just go and read the basics of the Jasmine if you are interested. But let's keep everything simple and short. So what I'm going to do is I'm saying here, okay, let's have an anonymous function again. And here you can say this variable which we have defined above, let's create a new person from there. And if you remember this person, we have a method which takes first name, last name, age, and eye color. Okay, so I will take first name, let's say Rudra, and I can say last name as Za, and I will say, let's say that he is a teenager, kind of, it's 20, and let's say the eye color is black. Very simple. So all I did is I created an object and I instantiated it. Now let's write some of our test method, sorry. So we are saying that, okay, we have to assert person object, or you can, assert is not good, I will say test person object. That sounds good. So after that, you have to say it. And again, it would be having two parameters. So first you have to say get, let's say, correct full name. So we are saying, okay, get correct full name, and function. Again, I would be doing as I expect. So expect is the assertion here. And we are saying I expect that person dot name method, okay, it returns. So to equal, I hope I'm not wrong in syntax, otherwise I have to go to the documentation. I'm saying I'm expecting that the full name of this person which we have instantiated returns Rudra Jha, and if we go the method, we see that it actually returns first name space last name. So before doing anything else, okay, just go small step at a time, and what we will do is we will include our test script. So I will simply go here, and I can see that I have a JS person. So I will tell you guys, VS Code is one of the awesome idea I have ever worked with. Of course, I have worked with Sublime Text and other, but it has a lot of auto code completion and everything. I really love this idea. So we have the index.html here, and I will say, so this is our terminal. I will say open, first see which directory we are. So we are in already simple as Jasmine. So we should be able to open index.html directly from here. So actually it opened on another. Okay. So let me do one thing. Okay, sorry, I already have this with me. So this is the index.html. Perfect. Okay, now I don't know how to annotate. Okay, let me. Okay, now good. I'm not sure. By mistake, I use that pen or something, but I will have mouse. So now, okay. I hope everybody can see my screen here, and let me increase the. Not sure if I can increase font. So here you can see that index.html, okay, in index.html here, let's say I write a body only saying h1 tag, and I will say Jasmine demo. And if I go back here and I will refresh, you see the Jasmine demo appeared here, but everything below that actually coming from Jasmine framework, and it is saying that there is one specification, zero failure, and it is saying that we are testing a person object. So this is a describe. Now in this person object, we are able to get the correct full name. So let's see what happens if that's wrong. So if I go here, so let's say if I go here and I'm saying, okay, I will, what I say, except this. Let's have this. And if I reload, so this is how it looks like. This is how TestFlair looks like. It's saying that, okay, we expected this, but actually the value is this. So that's how the Jasmine shows the output here. And for the demo purpose, what we can do is we can write one more method here. So now I'm saying, okay, let's see if we get a age change. So confirm if age changed, and this would be having second parameter, which is a function. And here I'm saying x. So first, let's do not change anything. Okay, and we are saying, okay, we expect that person dot get age is going to equal. So right now, the age is equal to 20. That's what we have set up here at the top. Now what we are going to do is we are going to change the age. So I'm going, okay, let's change age to 1 year. He just got his birthday. So, and then now I expect, so I will just use exactly, give me a minute. I will use exactly this line here, and I'm saying, okay, let's assume the age changed. And if I go back and let's reload the page. So, okay, so here it says one of two specifications. Okay, so two specifications are here. We are testing. So this is a one suit test person object. Now that test person object has the two methods. Okay, here, perfect. Okay. Okay, so this test person object has a two method. One, we need to confirm if age changed and if the full name is right or wrong. So as we can see, this is how Jasmine works, the pure actual Jasmine. Okay, so anyone have any question? Even though we will go with the Q&A back again, but now this is all the non-Salesforce stuff. Now we will jump to the Salesforce stuff. So anyone have any question here at this point? Okay, perfect. So give me a minute. Okay.
So a couple of questions I can see, Jitendra, somebody added in chat window. If you think
Okay.
that like we can answer now, though we can answer the like otherwise we can go ahead.
Okay, give me a, let me see the chat window.
If you want, I can read the question for you. One question is, can we use the Jasmine in the Salesforce Lightning as well? And another
Yes, yes.
question. Go ahead,
So
please.
yeah, we can use the Jasmine, the Salesforce org, and that's why we are here today. And now that is the next part I'm going to explain how to use Jasmine in Salesforce, and that is the Lightning testing service.
Yeah, the
So
next question is, I believe there is a managed package available to install in the org.
exactly, yep. That's what we will do it now. Okay. So I have any question, especially at this source code. So this source code is very simple. Okay, I just close my.
And
Okay,
one
so
useful question people is asking here, that is which IDE you are using.
exactly. So I'm using a VS Code, and this is an official Salesforce IDE. Okay. So unfortunately, Eclipse is, I mean, that has been sunset by Salesforce. So if you search the net here, so this is the IDE I'm using, VS Code, SFDX, just search this. And so first you have to install the Visual Studio Core, not actual Visual Studio, very lightweight Visual Studio. And then you have to install this extension. Now this is the official extension by Salesforce. Okay, you will see how it works. It's a really great tool here. Okay, so this is the IDE I'm using, and this IDE can be useful for PHP, JavaScript, HTML, or anything. It has a lot of shortcuts. So
Jitendra, can we use SFDX for sandbox? That's a
very good question.
DX command. Yeah.
So basically here what happens, okay, SFDX, that is a developer hub, is available free of cost on every production environment. Okay. So now suggestion is, instead of doing
Okay.
coding on sandbox, you should do the coding in Scratch org, and from Scratch org you can move code to the sandbox. So the indirectly answer is yes, but you cannot
Okay.
code in yeah.
Oh, from Scratch we can push to sandbox, right?
Yes, yes. So
But I
here
did
is
not
the
find any commands on the SFDX package, like which, I mean, there are packages like commands available to create Scratch org or to push the code to shapeorgs or creating a shapeorg. But I did not find any commands where we can push the code to sandbox from Scratch org.
yeah. So this blog post mine, okay, this is a little bit ambiguous. It says use metadata API with Salesforce DX. This is exactly blog post you are looking for. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just go through.
I'll
Yeah,
take a look.
I have a video as well, so you should be able to see. Really
Yeah,
good.
I'll take. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Again, I'm not sure how I got the pen mark available. Let me erase this. Okay, now I'm good. Perfect. So what I will do is now I will close this Visual Studio. Okay, and I will open the new instance of Visual Studio Code. VS Code. Actually, it's not a Visual Studio, it's a VS Code. Visual Studio is full-fledged IDE of .NET, and we are not going to use that. So now what I will do is, I already have the folder open here in the Apex Saturday. Here I will create a new folder, Lightning Testing Service SFDX. Okay. Now there is multiple way to show this demo. I can simply go in the browser, I can show it, but I think it would be interesting to see actually how the SFDX can be shown. So we will be just 1 year back, coincidentally, just today, 10th of March 2017, we had the SFDX demo, if you guys remember. So let's start. So what I will do is, first I will open a folder. So I just created this folder. No, not this one. I will go on desktop, Saturday, Lightning Testing Service SFDX. So I will use this. And let's create a new Salesforce DX project here. Okay. Give me a minute. Struggling a little bit here. Perfect. So this is the new IDE, new workspace, everything is new. So let's first create our Salesforce DX project. Okay. So to create a new Salesforce DX project, all you have to is Control Shift P or Command Shift P if you're using MacBook. You have to say create a project, and I will say Apex Saturday. What I say? Apex Saturday Lightning Testing Service demo. And it is asking me where I need to save it. I will say save here. And let's wait. So it will reload icon, and as you can see on the left side, everything has been created by the Salesforce, RF folder, config folder, and everything. Okay. This is the definition of Scratch org, which kind of the Scratch org we want to create. So this is all default, all good. I don't have any issue here. Let's go on terminal. Okay. So we are on terminal. I hope everybody is able to see it. Okay. Perfect. So now what we will do is, so first few SFDX commands. Okay. So first I have to see, I already have org here. So SFDC force org list. and it will show me the list of all the orgs here. So as you can see, this is my developer hub org, okay, and I already have a 4 scratch orgs here. Okay? And if you want to see the sfdx command, again there are lot of good resources available, but one of the resource which I did like 1 year back. So I have a cheat sheet of sfdx commands. I always go back here and I use getting started with sfdx salesforce dx, and you will see all the list of basic commands which we are going to use today. So I would be using my website only because I know where are all my commands I have entered. So first, let's say what we will do is we will create a scratch org first thing. So to create a scratch org, we have to write this command. If you guys give me just a minute, okay, let me change something in my preference. Okay, I really don't like this terminal color, so I will go on my terminal. Terminal font size, font weight.
Hello, Jitendra sir. Some request from some people. Can you increase the font, please?
Okay, increase this font little bit more.
Mohit suggested one command, that is Control plus plus will be increase the font.
This okay. So let me know if this will clear. Okay, Control plus plus. Try. Is it good?
Yeah, now look better to me actually.
Okay. Basically, what I'm trying to do is change the font color, but that's fine. So what I will do is I will create a scratch org. Okay. Let me see if I can increase the font of this one. I think this is good, right? And but the other side is I will again go back on settings and I will change these fonts to a little bit less.
Oh, it's much better.
Okay. Yeah, that control plus plus did work. Thanks for that command, Mohit and Amit. So let's see. Okay. So we would create a new scratch org. So the command for new scratch org is something like this. So we have to say sfdx force org create. Give me a 1 minute. I will go to my blog and see where is the command to create a scratch org. So I will go setting a Salesforce DS, authorizing, creating a scratch org. And this is the command. So sfdx org create. So default username I have to set. Okay. So I will say set this as a default username. And then I'm saying the configuration is, if you guys see here, the configuration is in config folder, project scratch definition.json. So I will use exactly same. I will say config folder, and config has a file name as project scratch definition.json. And then we have to set alias here, a nickname. So alias I'm setting is Apex Saturday. Let's see. Okay, no default dev hub or name found. Okay, so let's do one thing. Okay, we will have the default dev hub. So let's first log into the default dev hub, and my default dev hub name is very fancy. So basically this command is saying you are trying to create a scratch org, but you have to have a dev hub. I already have a dev hub. Basically, if you see sfdx force org list is the command to see the list of all org. And if you can see, this is my developer hub, Jitendra 72@gmail.com. Somehow it's not liking it. So I will authenticate it again. So I will say SFDX force authenticate web-based login, and I'm saying this, set it as a default dev hub, set default dev hub username, and again give it as a alias, set alias. I will say my dev hub, or let's see how it goes. So okay, upload not the right one. Cancel. I hope I remember password. Okay, everything went good. So this is my default developer hub. It's like a so you can see now these are all the scratch orgs I have here. If I go back here, it says that successfully authorized. So that means my developer hub is good. And I will run the previous command, which is to create and make a default scratch org and name it as Apex Saturday. Let's see how it goes. If you guys are interested, okay, so this is actually the Excel sheet. I mean, this is how I do, and I would be posting this someday in my blog, but not today. Let me show. So this is my Excel sheet basically. So I have all the shortcuts about SFDX. I have shortcuts about VS Code. I'm a new Mac user, so of course I'm learning Mac. I have a shortcuts for Git as well. So this is how I maintain all my shortcuts these days. Few are on my blog and few on my. So you have, as you can see, the scratch org is already created and the name of the scratch org is this. So let's confirm it. Again, I will run sfdx force org and I will say give me the list of all the org. And as you can see, D means default. So you can see this is my default developer hub. It's connected. Now there are so many scratch org I already have, and the scratch org which we created today. And now you might be wondering, everywhere then the company name is Jitendra, and now I showing my IBM company name is because of this. The org name I had is this one. So if I change, that will change. But anyways, let's go to our actual topic now. So let's try to open this SFDX developer dev hub org. Okay, so I will close this window. I will go back and I will say SFDX force on open. I'm not providing anything, so it will open my default scratch org. So now you can see this is my default scratch org. Everything looks good. So I will maximize this window and I will go to developer console here. And let's see what are the lightning components we have here. So if you see the lightning component, nothing is here. So now we have our new scratch org. Let's install lightning testing service here. Okay. And the command to install the lightning testing service is, let me know if I remember here. So let's clear the command, and the command is something like this: sfdx force lightning test install. So basically what this command will do, this command will install App Exchange package in our Salesforce, and that App Exchange package is nothing but the lightning test service. Now you can also go and manually install it, and in my demo here, if you go on my lightning testing service, in the resources tab, I have all the URLs which you would need. So no worries. So now we see that package is installed successfully. If it installed successfully, let's try to run our test cases. So how do you run Jasmine test cases from Salesforce DX command? That can be run using sfdx force lightning test run. So this is not running the Apex test classes. This is running the Lightning test cases. Now, when we install the Lightning package, some demo code comes with it. So I'm expecting some demo source. So here you see that 18 test pass. So what we will do is, let's try to see the result in the user interface if you don't want to see in SFDX. So to do that, we will again use SFDX force open. So this command will open a browser. We already know, but how do we open the path by default path? So that is, we have -p, and here you can say C, and we will say Jasmine tests.app. As you can see now, this is already, we already have this. So here you guys can see, just like what we did before Salesforce DX, before Salesforce. It's simple like that, but this is all the test comes with standard Salesforce functionality. So this is a standard Jasmine. They provided some sample packages and they're showing the space cases. Everything is running fine. If you go on the developer console now and open Lightning component, Lightning resource, let me reload the developer console. So now you see a lot of Lightning resources. So now you see Jasmine test is very important, and then I see the Mocha test, that is one important. So these are all the Lightning components as a part of Lightning testing services. You can go and you can dig into their code and understand how everything is being done there. Okay. So for this demo purpose, okay, I would create what I say. So let's create some Lightning component from ourselves. Okay, so I will first create let's go here. I will create a new, right click here. I will create a new Lightning component, and the name of the component I'm going to say as person demo. Now you guys can see here, everything has been automatically, just like any other Salesforce.com ID basically, but it's far better than that. I will also create a new Lightning app, and the name of the Lightning app I will give as demo app. Okay, so now I have a Lightning component, I have a Lightning app. So this is demo app and this is component. So I will just, right now I don't need any terminal. So let's go, and what we will do it in our app. First we will say, so let's include the Lightning design system. So I will say extends force SLDS, and then I will include my person demo Lightning component here. Let's save it. Now go in the person demo Lightning component, and here I will simply say hello world. Let's see how it goes. Now we want, so here is okay. Now we want to deploy this, how that is going to work. So the simple command to deploy is SFDX force source and push. So if you can see, I have created a demo application. I have created demo Lightning component, everything in SFDX. And as you can see, deployment is done. If I go in my developer console, and I will again reload this page, go file, open Lightning resource. So you can see demo app I just created in my SFD Visual Studio IDE, and it has a person demo. And I will open another Lightning resource, which is a person demo. I will likely open the. So now you can see hello world, and let's see how it looks like. So I go on preview, and preview, you guys can see hello world is appearing here just at extreme top right corner. So we are all good. So let's move on our next. So what I will do is, I will try, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a 4 input boxes. Then I'm going to have a lightning grid, and just like the simple JavaScript, this component is going to be, I will try to keep it as simple as possible, but let's see. So what I'm going to do is I will remove the, let's keep a hello world for some time, and I will define our attribute, and I will name it as let's say person object, person obj, and I will say its data type is object. So this is the one or attribute I have created. Let's create let me think. So I have to create one more, which is a person list, and this is going to be the array of persons. So what basically we are going to do is we are going to add persons multiple times, and we are going to maintain the list. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write some lightning input. So best part here is what you can do. Give me a minute here. This is a component library, base component, and this is my friend. Whenever I need anything, I can just go and search lightning input. So I see the lightning input is here, and you can just copy paste this code and use it. So basically what I'm going to do is I am going to use first, let's say first lightning input I would be using like this. So I have a lightning input. Its name is input first name, very bad name. It can be txt name or something. I'm giving a label as a first name, and I am using this object, which is a part of view. So v dot person object, and I'm assuming this object would be having a attribute named first name. Okay, so let's copy this, and we will add some more inputs here. So first name, last name, age, and eye color. So I will say make it last name, make it age. I will say make it eye color. Label is last name. It is age, and I will say label should be something like eye color. Now we have to change the object parameter as well here. So I will say it as a last name, make it age, and this would be eye color. Awesome. So let's see how it looks. So we will deploy it again in the Scratch org. Again, same command, svdx4 source push, whatever changes we have made on our local should be on here. So let's go back. I will close this window for time being and reload it. So you can see first name, last name, age, eye color. I don't want hello world, so I will remove it. But the problem is I want it in middle. So I don't want, I mean, space, it's, to me, it's not really good looking. So what I will do is, so we have a lightning design system grid. That is I really almost all the time I use. So if you go back here, lightning design system documentation, I will just open this, and here we can search grid. So let me open the grid CSS here. And grid CSS, the syntax, I'm just interested in the syntax. So it's SLDS grid, SLDS gutter, something like this. So, okay. So what I would be doing here is, let me go back. So I would be having a 3 column. I will keep first column and the last column blank, and will keep content only in the middle column, so that my content would appear in a center. So what I can do is something like this. In fact, I can close this bracket and close this div tag, align it, and what I will do is, yeah, I will take padding as a top as a large, and I will have one more div column here, and all of these content I would place it in the middle one so that it will look good. So I have a one row. This is a one row. I will keep blank the first, I will keep blank the last, I will keep only in the middle, so that it will give me the effect of center. Okay, sorry, I have not deployed it yet, so let me, let me deploy here. So I will say again, push command. Let's say, so it says it changed only one file. I reloaded. So perfect. Now you can see first name, last name, age, color. I'm just wondering if we can have the SLD box. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I really like the box CSS in the Lightning Design System. So if you see, this is the effect. So you have your regular content here, and it would be what I say by it would be in the rounded corner. So let me have div class slds box. I have just copied that line. I will use it here to make it a little bit more beautiful. Perfect. And let's push again using Salesforce DX. Pretty fast. Let me reload it, and you guys can see the nice box appears here. First name. So this page has an error. You might need to refresh. Null is an object. Okay, we will go back there. Okay, no worries right now. So now what we are going to do here is, so first let's have a button here, and I would be having something like, where is my shortcut key? Okay. So after this, I would be having this. Okay. And simply I'm saying, okay, this is a one button which will save add person, and it will have a method as add person. I will go in my controller. I will define add person. As per best practice, we should never write anything here. So I will say add person, and I will just pass the same parameter as here, and I will define the same method almost in my helper. So this is my helper method. Perfect. If anyone thinks I'm going pretty fast, so please let me know. Okay, and I would, right now we have, okay, I would need around 10 more minutes. Okay, so this is the add person method. So basically what I'm planning to do is I will add these person as a in a list. So let's write that code quickly. Should not take much time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some variables. So first variable I will say is person data, and I will say component dot get, and I'm trying to get the attribute, and attribute name is this person object. So I will get the person object here. In the same way, I have to get a list of person object. So I will just go back here, and I will say it is person list, and let's say the name here is person list. Now I will create a person object, just the previous old example. So I will say variable person in JavaScript object is determined by the curly bracket. So I am having a curly bracket here, and each variable you can have something like this: first name, and then last name, and then age, and then eye color. Now, one thing we have to make sure that these property names should be exactly same as these names: first name, last name, eye, because that's what we are assuming, that this object has these properties. So that's what I just did. Now we have a person data. So whatever we enter right now in so lightning component, input component, I have done bidirectional binding. Bidirectional is using exclamation mark. I'm saying that whatever I enter here, that should be saved in the first name. Whatever I enter here, it should be saved in the last name, and so on. So what I will do here is, okay. So here I will say person data. This is what anything would be entered here. Person data dot first name. Same way I will say person data dot last name. Same way here I will say person data dot age, and same way here person data dot eye color. Perfect. So all we have to do is, now we have gathered all the information. I will push it in the list. So in JavaScript array, we have a method push. I can simply say push person, because this is the object I just created. And then I will say this person list I need to set back. So I will say component dot set, and I will just set whatever the list we have. Set by person list. And now what I will do is, if anyone enters here value, it has to, and when I click on the submit button, it should be blank. So what I will do is just like this. I will be having like this, and I will be having person object here, and I will make it blank. So this is the blank one. Okay. Now the problem here I'm getting, if you see here the error, it says that something is null here. Okay, and it makes sense. What am I thinking here is, we have said that person object is object, very good, but where have we initiated it? So person object is null, of course, because we have not initiated it anywhere, and null dot anything is always null. That is my best guess. So what we will do here is we will create our init handler. So basically how init handler works in Lightning is, you have to have a handler init, and we have to define the init method in Salesforce. So this is my controller, and in controller I will have my init method. I would be copying pasting exactly same, something like this. The only difference is I would be having init method here. Okay, go on person demo, and let's define one more method here as init. And in this init, all I would be doing is I would be initiating the person object with blank. That's it. Let's see if this resolves our problem. So I will clear the command. I did a lot of changes. I did changes in component, controller, and helper. I'm assuming 3 files would be pushed to the scratch org. So as you can see, exactly component, controller, helper, everything pushed back. And let's come back here, reload it. So we added the add button, and awesome. So I'm not getting any error. Good, good, good. That's a relief for me. Now this add button, I really don't like its position. All I will do is I will simply go here. I will mark button in paragraph, and to be on safer side, I will have a break line. Wait. I will cut and paste it here. Perfect. So let me see what we have to do. So the next step is very simple. Whenever I click on the add button, I should have a data loader table populated here. And if I go data table component on the base Lightning library, let's search for the data table. So I see Lightning data table here, and this is the syntax. Okay, data table. Okay. So what I will do is I will simply copy this and I will paste it here, and I will say we don't have any ID field, so for the time being, let's say first name is going to be ID. Now we already have a data in the list, so we will say, okay, this is the data. Now all we have to do is we have to define the column. Okay, so for the column we have to have one attribute here where let's copy this, and I will say columns plural. Okay, object. Now this is very important part in any Lightning data table. We have to give the format. So we said that okay, data is person list, but how the Lightning component would know what are the properties in the person list? We know that the property in the person list is first name, last name, age, and eye color, but we have to tell it in the column. So what I will do is we already have an init method, so I would be taking the advantage of init method here. And what we will do is just like we did here, component dot set. I would be doing component dot set of columns, and the only difference is I would not be passing the. So first thing is column is going to be array. In JavaScript we have to define array like this. Now this array is going to be the collection of object. So this is one object, and the property we have to say is what would be the label. So I'm saying the first column label is first name. Then we have to say, okay, what would be the value? I mean, what would the API name or something? So I'm saying field name would be, and this is the field name. So they are going to I mean, this Lightning data table component is going to be have the list of person, but every person would be having a first name. So we have to say it is it is going to have a first name here. Its data type we have to say. So I'm saying its data type is text. And is it sortable? So right now I'm saying no, it's not sortable. Sortable. I'm saying no, it's not sortable. It is false. And here again, it is like this. So this is just one column. Now we have three more columns. I will simply do my copy paste magic here. So first name, last name, age, eye color. First name, I will say last name. So last name, then I have age, then eye color. I will have this one. Every data type is text, sortable. No, I think I didn't make any mistake. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So this is all. Let's see if our data table would work or not. So I'm again pushing my changes from my Visual Studio to Salesforce Scratch.org. Let's see how it looks. Oh, really bad. At least the good news is we have our, what I say, tables. We have the data table columns is appearing very pretty good. So that is the good news. Now let's see what mistake I did. What I did actually is this Lightning component, I made it as a part of div tag. So it's a grid. So I should have it outside the grid. And again, this is my favorite component, rounded corner. So I will wrap my lightning data table here like this. And let's save it, control save. Clear my screen. I am again doing SFDX4 source push. So it should go and okay. Let's reload it. And just for the demo purpose, Rudra H21, I color back. Perfect. She's just two brown color eyes. So as you guys can see, first name is not there. Let's see what the mistake we did. So person list, first name, okay. First name.
And should be in capital.
Which one? No,
First
I
name.
see.
N should be in capital, right?
Let me check, Amit. That's a good point. Oh, right. So first name should be in capital. That's right. Thanks for pointing out, Amit. So I will just have first name here. In fact, here also the first name should be capital. And then person data, this would be again first name capital. So that mistake happen everywhere. So first name. Hopefully it will work. Push. We changed two files to two files. So see, that is the one of the advantage of the SFDX. If you have worked with the force.com IDE, right, or the Git, you need to remember, okay, what has been changed. Now SFDX is smart enough to automatically get. I'm just adding on perfect. So now I will say. Perfect. Everything is looks good. So here is the thing. Okay, this was just the preparation. Now we have to write a Jasmine test for this component. Okay, I will not go on much detail. I would keep it as simple as possible. Okay, and give me a minute. Okay, so let's start. So first thing to start is so first question comes in our mind. Okay, that okay, what I will do is first let's open the Jasmine. So Jasmine can be opened manually as well. What we can do is just copy the URL, add a new tab, and in the new tab, all we have to do is see Jasmine test tab. Perfect. So the question should come in on how the Jasmine knows that these are the test classes, right? How the Jasmine knows that these are the 18 JavaScript test classes which it needs to run. And the answer is this component. If I go on file, not open resource, open lightning resource, and you see the Jasmine test. This is a this component comes once you install the package. If you open this and it's open the application, you would see some related code. So what it is doing is it is providing the list of all static resources which has the Jasmine script. So just for an example, let's say I remove this two, I save it. Now here you can see that total method runs are 18 methods. So if I reload this page, you will see it's only 2 methods. So where the remaining 16 will go? So that is not executing because you have not specified your static resource name. So I assume you already know what we are going to do now, right? We are going to write a static resource for that. Okay, give me a minute here. So now basically what I will do is Perfect. So let's create a, so here is the, okay, I had some problem using a Salesforce DX and the static resource. Somehow it seems that it uploads some invalid package. So what I will do is I will create a new file at the top level above the config level, just here, and I will name it as Jasmine Taste Saturday .js. Okay, and I will write my code here. Okay, now the code is going to be again same. Describe is again going to have a 2 parameter, and one parameter, second parameter is going to be an anonymous function. And let's say, so we are going to have a lightning test service demo on Saturday Apex. Saturday Apex. So now what we are going to do, so there are tier up and tier down methods. So I'm saying after each execution, okay, what we have to do, and this is really very important step we have to do, and this is always the best practice. After every test, we have to kind of clear the component. So there is a global variable for the Lightning testing service, and that variable is $T. And there is a method which says clear rendered test components. So we would be using that method. So basically what will happen is after each test, it will clear the rendered component. So now we have to describe again, and this is going to, I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. Okay. And I'm going to, so here is the thing. Okay, we are going to write a test class for our custom component whose name is person demo, and I'm going to write a function here. And just like previously we discussed at the start of this meeting, so every describe can have multiple it defines what is our expectation. So I'm saying that in it is data table populated, is data table populated, and then we have to, let's close this, we have to write the second parameter as a function. And now what we will do is we will create a variable, sample variable person list, and this is the object, and this is array basically I'm planning to have. And then I'm going to have variable p. So this is our person. Okay, and I'm going to write some dummy value here. So I'm going to say, okay, first name is going to be, let's say, John. Last name is going to be Doe. Just 5 more minutes and we would be done. And age is, let's say, 28. And let's say eye color is the rarest color in the world, which is green. And that's it. So now we have our object. Let's push this object in this list. I will say object dot push, and this is the p. Okay, now let's create a component on the fly. So $T again, very useful global variable. So $T, I will say create component here, and again it is going to, so basically it has a 3 parameter. Okay, I will come back. So once the component is created, then what we have to do, and then then if there is any error comes, we can say, okay, you can catch it, and catch would be going to have a function which will get an error, and that's close. So this is the syntax basically of create component. So first you have to create component, then check whatever you want to check, and if there is any error, you can catch it. In fact, I will have something like this. Similarly, I will have like this, and I will remove. So this is a very simple to understand. Create component, write your test class, test method. If error comes, catch it, and if the error comes, of course, we want to propagate it. So we are going to say here as, let's say, done.fail. Again, this is all the APIs of the Salesforce, and so done fail means what it will do is it will propagate this error to the Jasmine. So this is the simple we are going to do. So let's go back on the create function, create component. So first parameter in the create component is going to have a name of our lightning component, which is a person demo. And then next we have to provide a attribute, the default value. Okay. So, and the third variable, I will keep it as true. So question is, what should be the in attribute? If we see our component, we have 3 attribute. Okay. So these 3 attribute we can populate it using that create component. What I will do here is I will simply create a variable saying variable attribute equals to, this is a JavaScript object. Okay, I think I missed semicolon here. I hope I didn't miss semicolon anywhere. Okay, so this attribute, I am saying this attribute is going to have, so if we go back in our component, we have 3 attribute. I'm going to use only this because I need to see if the, if we, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this value, and then I will create a component and I will try to get back what is the length. Okay, so I'm saying this, copy, I will say this value is nothing but we just created the list. This is the value. Perfect. And now what I will do is once this component is created, to create this component, you have to provide this attribute. This attribute would be having a default, only one record of person, which will have an entry about John Doe. And once the component is created, then we will say this function, which will give us the reference of component here. So all I have to do is I have to check what is the total record. So if you guys see, total record would be only 1, but we want to get it using the lightning component you guys. I'm saying component dot, just like the normal component. So basically what I'm trying to do is in this helper, this is how we get a component person list. I want to see if that person list has at least 1 array or not, because we provided that data during the component creation. Okay, so component dot get, and I'm going to say v dot person list, and the last line of our today's webinar, like second last line, I guess, expect. So what I'm expecting is this total records length, because that's array, should be equal to 1, because that's what we have provided. And once that is done, it's done. So here is the thing, let's go back again. What we did, we wrote only 1. We said we are going to test our person demo component. Now this person demo component have a 3 attribute. I'm going to set only person list attribute, and I need to make sure if create component had created properly or not. So simply whatever the component has been created, we will use a method get, and we will try to get the attribute and see if attribute John Doe has been properly set or not. I am right now expecting the length assertion as an assertion, or as a part of assertion, you can check first name, last name, age, it's all up to you. Okay? So this is the static resource. Unfortunately, I'm having some trouble in SFDX. So what I will do is I will upload this static resource here manually. So let's go back. I will go here, text demo. Salesforce app. Where did I create it? Let's see. Okay, I created it in config. So on config Jasmine test Saturday, and I will just say Jasmine test, which was created on Saturday. So, let's make public. And now we go back on developer console and we are going to say, hey, Jasmine, along with this static resource, let's consider our static resource as well. So resource dot Jasmine this Saturday. So fingers crossed. Hopefully no error. That got something weird. Okay, specification has no expectation. Is data table populated? Okay, something didn't went well. Okay, that's fine. So let's see what mistake we did. Okay, so what I will do is specification has failure. So I use this. So this is the best practice we have to use. John Doe Green. Okay, maybe I have not saved it. I will go back again on the static resource and I will choose the same file again. Let's save it. Perfect. So now, so here, two test is old test. This lightning component testing example is our example here. Lightning component testing example. It is saying that we described on person demo. So we described on person demo. Now it has only it method that it, so behavior driven, right? I'm expecting it to behave like this. That's the behavior I'm talking about. That's what we are saying, behavior driven development. Is data table populated? And how do we know that? We will provide some dummy list here as attribute. We will create a component dynamically, person demo, and we will get a component reference as a return. Now we have a component reference as a return. We can do whatever we want to do. Check the length, check the first name, last name. We can also call the aura method. So right now, unfortunately, our method does not have any aura method, but if you have aura method, you can easily call. And as per the best practice, aura method is just like an API to the lightning component. Right now, we don't have any API, so we are not able to call it. Unfortunately, we cannot call add person method here, but if you expose add person as an aura method using aura method approach, you would be able to test that as well. So we almost went 25 minutes above the line, but I don't have anything else to share. Let's go back in our demo, our slide. I will take the questions after this. This is the reference, another read, but okay. Where is my, so one consideration we have to think about, okay. Like Apex test classes, when we insert anything in the database, once the test class execution done, it gets rolled back. Now that is not the case with the lightning component. Okay, so let me explain you what I'm trying to say. In demo helper, let's say here you are calling an Apex method which inserts a record in Salesforce, that would not be rolled back. And I will say that is most important aspect of the lightning testing service we have to remember. Like Apex test classes, it cannot roll back any DML operation. So we have to be very careful which aura method you are testing it with. That's the only I will say consideration I will suggest, but everything else, it's all up to you in your project. You want to implement the lightning testing service and how do you want to do that. So that's all from my side, guys. Thank you so much. And I will take the questions now. Let me see. I'm trying to see question basically. Okay, I see chat now. So one question I got from RK. I read your blog on CI/CD with TDS. Can you take a session on CI/CD with Bitbucket? I would really like to take the session on continuous integration, but believe me that we need minimum 3 to 4 sessions. Okay, because that's not very, that cannot be wrapped up in 1 hour. But let's say if Amit plans to do that, I can certainly have a series of sessions. So I would go with the Bitbucket. I would go with the what I say, Jenkins, Docker, SFDX, Git branching, merging, automated deployment. Those all could be covered. Okay. So that's the question. So okay, let me see. Yeah, static resource is needed. Okay. So question from Kavya. Will Jasmine be able to run tests from static resources only? Yes. Right now, it is the only way. Okay. And I don't think any other way for that. And the reason that is the only other way is what Salesforce did is Salesforce created a wrapper on the top of Jasmine, and Salesforce is using this Jasmine test that app. And that's the Lightning component. As you can see, LTS Jasmine runner, and it will load all your static resources only in this fashion. So yes, static resources is the only way to run the Jasmine test. I see Mohit already answered that. Oh, Mohit joined, man. Hey Mohit.
Hey everyone.
Hey. Oh man, so Superstar is with us. So
No.
now I'm happy to take any question. And Mohit will answer me if I'm not able to help.
Mohit is already posting answer on the chat actually.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah. Thank you, Mohit.
Thanks.
I see Rijwan also answered one pretty good question that we can add a default parameter in our attribute, and that's really a good idea. So instead of having this line in the init method, we can have a default value here. That's a good way. Yeah. We will be. Any question? Am I missing?
One request from my end, Jitendra sir. Can you post this code somewhere so that I can share the code with everyone?
Yes. So I will say blog post is coming. Just after this, I will make my blog post public. And on the blog post, once you record the session, Amit, I will add the session recording as well.
Sure, I will share the recording.
Yeah. The question from Ankit. Is this going to be the benchmark to deploy code to production? It is only to make sure your Aura components. Yeah, it is to make sure your Aura component works properly. Right now, there is no rule like Salesforce imposes the rule on the test classes where you have to have a 75% coverage. So you're not necessarily need to that. But if you, I mean, it would be always the best practice if you can include Lightning component test in your package or your deployment. That would be the best practice, but it's not enforced. So next question from Kavya. How different are Jasmine and Mocha? So syntax wise, I don't see much difference, but frankly, I have not worked much on the Mocha side. So but when I saw the syntax from both Jasmine and Mocha, it seems similar. So if I go back, just let me show you. Okay, here I have the resources and Lightning design system. Let me see if I go on. So Bitbucket, I'm here. So if you go on the Bitbucket of the Lightning test service, right, it have all the steps, and here, this is how the Jasmine code looks, and this is how the Mocha code looks. So both have a describe, both have it. I think the difference is assertion. So Jasmine assert in some different way, and it has its own API for the Mocha. If test data, should we need to delete the data? Yes. Yeah, Sharvana. If the test data gets inserted, you need to have some way in your Lightning component to delete the data. But again, that would be overkill. Your component, you design your component to meet your business need. You don't design your component to support the test classes. So in that case, your technical architect or the technical lead would be the key person to guide you on how to do. So what you can do is you can decouple the component methods. So which component method is going to interact with server and which component method, you can have some kind of checks there. Scratch.org is available for developer edition. Good question. So from Prabhu, go on Trailhead. On Trailhead, there is SFDX. So the demo which I am showing today, I got this SFDX dev org from Salesforce, from Trailhead. So you can get it from there. So my developer hub org is a Trailhead org. Okay, I don't see any other question.
Thank you so much, Jitendra sir, and thank you so much. We will come back with some more new session, and there are lots of guys are asking for the video. So guys, I will going to post the video in our YouTube channel, so you can subscribe our YouTube channel. So go to the YouTube and search with the Salesforce Apex Hour. There I will going to upload the video and will share the PPT and everything on Meetup page as well. Thank you everyone. Thank you Jitendra sir.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks everyone. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you Mohit for answering the chat question answer.
Thank you, Mohit. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.